Hello, everybody! Full interest, that's the thing. Still doing the name that I don't like,
Yeah,
but fuck it. Who cares?
this time with the actual, what I would consider episode one of My
Yeah.
Hero Academia.
You know, I wanted to swear less on this episode, because I swore a few times on the first one. I was like, who cares? But it's not necessary for a series like this. Oh well.
Hmm.
It's me being rubbish. Anyway, so, My Hero Academia, episode 40, technically, but also season 3, episode 2. It's with Funimation numbering them as just like full.
Crunchyroll's numbering them too, so.
Yeah, it's a little weird. But yeah, that episode. Should I? Yeah, you know what? I'm probably going to fix it so it's just episode 39 and 40, to be honest. That's what I'm going to do. Anyway, so, as Zero said, pretty much this is first actual episode. Not a clip show. So, yay, actual stuff to talk about. That's cool. So this one opens with the villains again, I believe. I think they started with the villains the first episode too.
Yeah, like at the end of episode 39, they did a whole little monologue, but that was like, I think that was like post credits.
Yeah, they also did one like right at the beginning of
Yeah,
Tomura
so,
Shigaraki's walking down an alley and being all with his symbol of peace and a bird, a bird.
yeah. But
Yeah.
it's basically resetting. Yeah, it was really hard to find the location, but my master got me the location of where their camp's going to be. Let's like really screw with them now, and we'll all profit from this in some way.
Yeah, and I'm wondering whether that whole building a house of cards thing is symbolic or not, because, you know, they tend to be good about that sort of thing in this show, and that's right
Hmm.
there, and he's about to put on the final cards, and it collapses. I don't know. Like I say,
That's like most villains' plans,
pretty
if you
much
think
just
about it.
collapse it right at the last second. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of symbolic in a way.
So, yeah, the broker shows up and is like, hey, I got that stuff you wanted. With It's very not clear what this guy actually does. Like, he brought Dobby and was it Hifumi, the schoolgirl villain?
Toga, yeah.
Yeah, Hifumi Toga. Yeah, he brought them, and he does other things.
He's like a black market guy.
I guess. Yeah.
Like he goes and like it's kind of like heroes get their gear from like support departments and stuff. Villains got to get their gear from elsewhere.
Yeah.
He's their in basically.
Oh, so he's their Mei. God damn,
Yes,
they
he's
got the
their
short
Mei-Mei.
end of the stick. Oh boy. Oh, okay. I mean, he's cool and all. I like him. You know, as a character design, it's decent.
Yeah,
But appropriately
he's
sleazy.
basically all about making profits. So
Yeah, and he's like, hey, if you guys actually, start doing well and do things that are worthwhile, then I guess we'll all profit. So yay.
yeah, my business does well because more people are buying illegal things. So yeah, more villains equals more money equals success.
Yeah. That's pretty much all we get with them, though. Standard opening, yada yada, be heroes and such. And and the regular opening that still is not great visually, but yeah, the song is really stuck in my head at this point. Watching this episode 3 times to make sure that I got all the details did not help with that.
You know, I've been listening to the opening a lot since the last time we actually talked about it. It's really starting to grow on me. I understand though that like things don't seem in sync in some parts, but other
No.
parts are in sync.
Yeah, like
It's not.
they have that massive like low moment in the song that lasts like a good 30 seconds, but they've got this huge bombastic stuff happening on screen, and it really doesn't gel. Yeah.
That's the key moment where it really throws everyone off.
And then All Might shows up and does his fucking berserker mode, and I swore again. And then it all makes sense again, because that's when the drop happens.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it's like there's a lot of visuals that fit with the song, but then there's some that don't, and that's kind of the problem. I think I finally nailed it down a bit more.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I want to briefly talk about in the manga, because remember the last episode of the last season, it ends with the whole encounter with Shigaraki, and then Deku's talking to the police and his mom comes up. Yeah. That would have been the start of the chapter called Wild Wild Pussycats, which is the episode name for this one. So this is more like 1.5 chapters being adapted.
Yeah.
Rather than the standard 2.
Which, fair play. It still worked as a solid episode, so it doesn't really make much difference.
They expanded some of the combat that happens in here, which I'm glad, because it gave everybody more chance to shine, whereas previously in the manga it was, oh hey, first encounter with this beast, and then cut right all the way to they arrive.
Well, for a manga, yeah, that makes sense, because you don't want to waste too much time on pointless fights.
So they used their time to showcase everybody doing something, which was nice.
Very cool. And so yeah, everyone's hyped for the school trip that's coming, that they're about to go on, and Uraraka is like immediately in Deku's face, and it's like, hey, it's the school trip, it's so close, and he's like, yeah, it's really close, because she's right up there.
She's just that she remembers
Aoyama.
Can't stop twinkling.
Oh, fuck, that's his hero name, isn't it? Yeah.
Can't stop twinkling. Do you like him, don't you? And she's like, and then she goes red, and then they're both now just this wonderfully awkward pair.
Yeah, I still prefer Ken's nickname for Aoyama as Cock Laser. It's still
Dick Laser.
Yeah.
Dick Laser is still what I call him in my mind most of the time. So.
So Uraraka gets embarrassed, runs away, and says, "Hey, let's camp."
Yeah, camp.
And the idiots join in because they're idiots, Kaminari and Mina.
Yeah. And so the whole point of this is the people who failed the test, because the final exam, you guys are in for a treat. But everybody else, you're also going to have to work hard. Just not quite as bad as those guys are going to be in.
Poor Zero. He really didn't deserve to fail that. He got his partner out of danger in that exam.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't do much, but what he did counted.
He got knocked out pretty fast, but yeah. Especially with a quirk that actually gives him impressive mobility.
Yeah, but if it's air, then mobility isn't going to help you over much.
Yeah, but he can get away from her, which that whole fight was basically running away and then trapping her and then running around her.
Anyway, yeah, he could have done that just fine. Yeah, now that you mention it. Anyway, so Monoma shows up and is a dickhead because it's Monoma, and I really don't want to call her Big Fists, but that I don't remember her name, and I just know her as Big Fists. So I'm instead going to call her Kid Fisto. So Kid Fisto shows up and clubs him on the head and drags him onto the bus because she's
I believe
class rep. I assume
she's I think it was described in one of the pages, the bonus pages, that she's like the big sister of Class B, and she's just like, yeah, no, sorry about this guy. I really have to manage him better. Because that guy's essentially he's like the Bakugo of their group in that he's quick to go off on his own and start stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Panning shot across
Kendo.
all...
Kendo was her name.
Kendo, yeah. Because fist. Panning shot across all the girls of 1B, and Mineta gets creepy.
Well, yeah, that's his whole existence.
Yeah. I like Mineta is a difficult character because he's creepy and kind of gross, both in appearance and in personality and demeanor. Yeah. But they at least acknowledge that everyone is creeped out by Mineta.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Everybody acknowledges that he's awful and he never succeeds. And so it's fine. Like, he's there to represent a certain type of hero. The type that's in it for the girls, but he's like, they try to play it up for jokes, and I think even his design it's a lot less intimidating, or rather real.
Looks like he's wearing a giant diaper that's pinned up. Yes.
Yeah. If he's like the fact that he's that small, like, is significantly less creepy than if he was 6 feet tall and trying to creep on girls. So I understand why he's like the way he is. At the very least, he doesn't succeed. Last episode we were like looking at one person that came by Vlad. We didn't know who he was. I had to reread because he doesn't really show up that much at all, and I had to remind myself that's the homeroom teacher for Class B.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Yeah, I'd seen him before because he showed up at the rescue training arc at the end when big heroes moment, big damn heroes, literally. Yeah, he was one of those. But so they get on the bus and Erase is trying to do his, hey, I'm a teacher, so here's what you're going to be doing, and no one's listening, and Aoyama's posing because he thinks he's a JoJo character.
See, this is what it was all for.
So Casey can make JoJo references. That's why he made me do it.
So we get introduced to their camp trainers.
First things first. Mineta wants to pee. It's very important.
Yes, he needs to go. He's got that Yosuke going on.
Yep. Guys, I'm gonna pee right here. Okay, never mind. Yeah. That fucking comic is still like.
Yeah, I still think about it. Yeah. So then you meet the Wild Pussycats is their name. They're a team of 4, but we meet 2 of them right away. They are interesting.
It's an interesting thing they do with the logo as well. They make that very, very clear immediately with the whole showing the paw logo and then 2 color
2 light
lights.
up.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. But yeah, Deku immediately fanboys out and says, wow, these guys are amazing. They're a hero rescue team for like mountains and stuff. And wow, they were formed when we were kids. And they've been running for 12 years. And yeah.
We are 18 at heart, right? Yeah.
Also, good character design because you can kind of tell. Like a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell that they're a little older and trying too hard.
They had a design in mind when they were much younger, and they're going with it because
did not think to age it up at all.
Yeah, they gotta stick with their gimmick. So these 2 are Mandalay and Pixie Bob. Pixie Bob being the blonde one, Mandalay being the brown-haired one. And there's also this young kid with them who has the cool horn hat, which stupid I wish hat. I had.
It's a stupid hat.
I want it. Stupid,
I want it so I can burn it. It's a stupid hat.
So they're like, so hey guys, lunch is being served at 12. It's 9:30 right now. If you make it, you guys can get over there. And it's like, but we have the bus. We can just go. If you hurry, you can make it there. Everybody's like, run! No!
Yeah. Try and get on the bus, and Pixie Bob stops them and makes the dirt, like, controls the dirt so it throws them over the edge of the cliff.
Yeah. Her quirk allows her to basically manipulate the earth for...
Yeah, she's
all sorts of
Cementos for
fun.
dirt.
Yeah, essentially. Which is really helpful when you're in a mountain and you need to save people.
Yeah.
So they all get flung into the woods. It's like, welcome to the jungle of beasts.
Yeah, the Forest of Beasts in the English version.
Forest of beasts. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Forest of beasts.
They're like, wow, that sounds like a fucking video game location. Okay. Mineta doesn't care, runs into the forest trying to find somewhere to pee, runs across a giant monster, and immediately doesn't need to pee anymore. So,
Problem
lining.
solved.
silver lining. And animal voice, Anivoice, was it? That was his quirk.
Anima.
Yeah. Anima was
Anima.
his hero name? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anima is like, hey, guys, you giant beast of this forest, you should probably stop. We're just passing through and stuff, so please be calm and stuff. And Dekka's like, that's not working, and notices dirt's flaking off of it, so it's obviously a dirt construct. And then everyone decides to kick ass.
Yeah. So immediately, Ida, Bakugo, and Todoroki and Midoriya just leap in there and demolish the thing. And it's like, yeah, we got this. And that's where the manga would have cut to them arriving.
And while that's happening, we get a cut to Eraser and Eraserhead. They call him Eraser in the English version in this episode in particular, so I keep calling him Eraser. But Eraserhead and the Pussycats on top of the cliff are like, so what's the deal with this? This seems a little rough. And Eraserhead's like, well, we want to get a full semester of training done in just this one camp so that we can have them do their... so that they can test for their hero... what was it? It's like
provisional hero licenses.
That's the one. Thank you. That's the word. Provisional.
And so these provisional hero licenses, since there is a standard like not allowed to use your quirks in most areas, a provisional hero license allows you to use a quirk in self-defense.
Yeah.
Legally.
Like they did the whole stain thing where they realized, oh hey, no one can use quirks to defend themselves at all unless they're a hero. And they got that out, and they've done that arc. They don't need to do it again, so they're just gonna kind of move on, so we can actually have the characters do action things.
In case of an emergency and there's a villain that you need to stop, you have permission to fight, basically.
Yeah.
And so this will help prepare them for when they eventually will have to take an early provisional license exam and try to get the provisional licenses.
Not even eventually. They're planning to do this as soon as possible because they know shit's going down.
Yeah, because Shigaraki is just like every single like school event, like you had Shigaraki attacked, and then you had Stain like nearly kill your students already, and that was covered up. But
and even beyond that, Shigaraki showing up in a mall, a crowded mall, and Deku, if he had been able to use his quirk, might have been able to do something, but legally as well as physically, he was completely unable to do anything in that situation because he didn't have a license. So if they're going to be targeted anyway, they need the fucking licenses so they can defend themselves.
Yeah.
I'm swearing again.
but it's true. Yeah, they need to be able to defend themselves. So they also need to get like significantly stronger. Like it's a camp training arc. They're here to actually learn how to use their quirks in better and more unique ways.
So extended montage of them kicking ass in various ways. Sarah once again, actually kind of good, just immediately wrapping the thing up and just dropping it. So
you wouldn't think that power is necessarily powerful at first, but
you think, oh, he can make sellotape, but no, it's legit.
I estimate his tape is far stronger than regular tape because he's able to pull himself. So
the adhesive on that must be insane.
Yeah, so you run into like a Spider-Man situation there, which I think probably Horikoshi was going for, considering he loves Spider-Man.
Probably.
So
Sarah's secretly his favorite character.
I wouldn't doubt it, actually. But
Yeah, considering he's a little bit of a wisecracker as well, he probably is really, really based on Spider-Man. Anyway, so yeah, extended montage of everyone using their quirks and stuff, and we won't go into details on all of them. I just really wanted to call out Sarah because he's kind of given a shitty deal a lot of the time.
they're all shown like their abilities doing good, and they make it through. It's
I will
like
call out
sun.
one thing though. I really like
Yeah?
the irony of using the invisible girl as bait.
Okay, I want to comment like Mina runs and like does a high five with the invisible girl as she passes by her.
Coordination, well done.
Like that's pretty well done. So
Yeah, so they get
they
out.
make it.
They're all
Yeah.
fucked. Basically, I'm giving up on the non-swearing thing. Didn't take long, did it? They're all knackered completely, beat up and exhausted, and you can see Todoroki's got frost covering him, like how he gets when he's overusing his ice.
Can't you really use fire in a forest?
Not so much. No, that's a bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you know their instructors, let's call them for the sake of convenience, are like, oh hey, you guys. Well, I guess 3 hours was a little much. We must have just timed that based on how long it would take us to do it, and Sugar Boy is like, you just put us through all that, and now you're telling us how much better than us you are? It's so mean.
You just did that literally just to tell us that you're better than us.
I love the voice acting. That's so mean. It was so good. Seriously, the dub is so good. Anyway. Yeah, so Pixie Bob, the blonde one, is like, you know, you guys were actually pretty cool. You know, you did it faster than I expected you to. And you four in particular, pointing to Deku, Todoroki, Ida, and Bakugo, it's like, you I like, and I'm going to take special care of you and groom you myself. And yes, it is meant sexually, and yes, that is extra creepy that she called it grooming them.
Ray says, like, is she, like, and Mandalay is like, yeah, you know, she's at that age, and, like, she's getting kind of desperate. It's not looking good for her.
They use a lot of cat puns in this. I think it's just an affectation, but she calls it, she's at that age where she's trying to find a mate. Yeah, that's the English version. Well, okay. And then Deku says, oh, speaking of age...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she immediately calls him on. He's like, no, what's with the kid?
And the kid's just like, all you heroes are stupid. And, like, Dick is like, hey, you know, what's up, guy? Come on, champ.
Nice to
It's
meet
real
you.
great.
I'm from the hero course. Boom. Not shot.
I don't know what it said in the dub, but in the sub, it was, he punched Izuku in the scrotum.
I think it was something like, how could you punch him in the scrotum? That is
Yeah,
unforgivable. Yeah.
How could you punch him in the scrotum?
Yeah. I mean, the scrotum isn't the problem part, Ida, but I appreciate you not shying away from what actually just happened.
using all that knowledge to good use. And yeah, the kid, Kohta, is like, yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of heroes. You guys are all stupid.
Fun fact. Kohta's voice actress is Morgana from Persona 5 and Operator 6.0 from Nier Automata.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kohta is Mandalay's nephew.
She voiced an actual cat, and she's hanging with the...
Okay.
It's funny. She also gives
I'm-
Mineta shit for not acting like a decent human as well.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they get in and they all eat and they have decent meal, and they're all really happy with that. They all take a bath, and everybody's like, tomorrow the real training starts. So Mieta's like, I gotta go, and he's like, everybody's like, dude, seriously, you need to chill out.
Yeah.
Stop it. And Ida's just like,
Ripped.
come on, leave them alone.
He looks noticeably better in this episode than the previous one, by the way. Dude, fucking guns.
Yeah. He trains hard to be Ingenium, whichever one you want to say.
Yeah. And Mineta doesn't care. Climbs up the wall using his sticky balls, which clever, good traversing.
Yeah.
Gets to the top and immediately Kohta's there, and he's like, "Hey, if you want to be a hero, you should probably work first on acting like
Being
a
a human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And high fives him to push him off the thing, which was great. And then Mineta lands on Ida, but first, because of course.
The girls call it like, "Hey, thanks for looking out, Kohta." He looks over. He's like,
Yep.
and then
fan service shot.
Fan service shot because, yeah.
Really
and he falls
focused
back.
on Acid Girl. Like, really, really focused on her.
But Kohta trips and he falls off the wall. And Deku just, all for one, full cowling, gonna run up and grab that kid.
Grabs him by palming his head from underneath.
In the manga, he has one hand under his head, the other on his back.
No,
because he's trying to brace. Yeah, he's trying to brace his head so it doesn't hurt his head or anything with the fall. And that's something Deku, in particular, when it comes to any sort of child character, wants to make sure that they don't hit their head. Especially, like, if you go back to flashback when he goes down to check out young Bakugo, he's like, "Are you okay? Did you hit your head?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing.
I wish he was there.
That's
Yeah, I wish he was there to catch me when I fell and got my concussion in kindergarten.
Okay.
Because I hit my head, and now look at where I am and what I'm doing.
Appreciate it. I didn't hit my head. So we get transition to scene. It's basically, a bunk room with Mandalay, and she's like, don't worry, he just fainted from the fall. It's fine. Deku is just there, and he's like, hey, I'm in a towel. So what's the thing with Kohta not liking heroes? I'm in a towel.
So
I feel like he should have put pants on, is all I'm saying.
So Kohta's parents were heroes who were killed in the line of duty, fighting a very violent criminal. And everybody, afterwards praised them, saying, they got a hero's death. It was an honorable death. They were doing what was right. And that constant kind of praise cycle really, really kind of got to him. He really started to hate heroes.
Yeah. So it's at this point that we need to bring up the obvious comparison. The obvious comparison that everyone is making because it's obvious. Because they both wear stupid hats. Inari from Naruto, from the Wave Arc, the one that everyone remembers because it was actually good. So, yeah, some very big similarities. Parental figure died trying to make things better for other people, and made the child resentful of the whole idea of doing the right thing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
There's some key differences here that I think make it work quite a lot better. And the first one is probably the fact that this whole thing is all about heroes in general to start with.
Yes, rather than ninja assassins.
Yeah, ninjas, from the outside, I mean, Naruto at the time was a kid and had a very romanticized idea of what ninjas were at the time, and for the rest of the series. But yeah, at their core, ninja were, mercenaries. They were private military contractors. They weren't heroes at all. So the whole thing about trying to inspire him by being a hero yourself is a little shaky as a message. But in this one, everyone involved in this situation, both the people that Neo Inari now hates and the people that he lost in the past, all heroes. And that makes it a clearer message at the very least, beyond anything else.
Yeah.
And I had a lot more points, and I really should have made notes.
I do want to say, in regards to the general, direction the series is going, the entire idea, the whole premise of the story is that All Might is growing weaker. The symbol of peace is growing weaker. There's going to need to be a new one soon. And so, with last season we had Stain, we had Todoroki, which was all about Endeavor, who was a bit of a failure as a hero. There was Stain, which is about failures of heroes and hero society. There was the whole encounter with Shigaraki, in which smiling thoughtlessly as if there was nobody he couldn't save, and Deku's realization of heroes fail a lot of more times than are actually transmitted through the media.
No one wants to hear about that.
Yeah. And so this is like the case of coming face to face with somebody whose parents if his parents died, but if you were to see in the media, it would have been, they died bravely, they fought well. It's kind of it's like a dose of reality. Yeah.
And thank you for vamping for me for very, very well. Another comparison that works a lot more in the favor for this show than in the other one, Naruto. In that show, Inari grew resentful of heroes in general, even though
ninjas.
His new dad, because his dad, let's say, he was trying to do the right thing for everyone, including him. In this show, it's people who died selflessly trying to save other people, but also leaving Kohta behind.
Yeah.
Like, they put other people and their children above their own child. Which really does actually strike the message a lot stronger of, hey, heroes can kind of be not especially responsible people sometimes when it comes to this sort of thing, in terms of basic humanity.
Their selflessness can be problematic.
Yeah.
And Deku has never encountered somebody like Kohta in this entire show so far. So it's very interesting to see how the two interact. The closest was in terms of somebody who was upset because of the failings of a hero, Todoroki, if you count that. But even then, it's not the same. It's very different.
Deku doesn't get it because he's all about that selfishness. Just completely. But he didn't see his mom, Inko, crying, bawling on the couch while she was watching him in the tournament when he was breaking his arms into splinters.
Yeah.
He didn't see that. And I wonder what his reaction would have been if he had.
His mom said, I passed out 9 times.
But it's one thing to hear that, and it's another
thing to see it. And
the absolute devastation and terror of seeing someone you love in danger that severely.
And I think it's a testament to the show's writing that it's aware of that and what exactly that can do to people.
And it's bringing it up and forcing the main character to confront that. That's a very good thing. Like, I don't think Naruto ever really... It tried, but it didn't really convey that kind of message very well when it was trying to.
Yeah.
This show, I think, is handling a lot better.
I feel like there's a lot of... Obviously, the author was inspired by Naruto, so there's a lot of parallels that can be drawn. But I always find this show coming out ahead in terms of its execution. So, it's nice.
Yeah. So, Deku's response is basically, yeah, that's terrible. I hear so many perspectives of heroes and what they're like. I'm wearing a towel, but I don't really have anything to say to what I just heard. I'm wearing a towel.
Anyway, so come the next day, they're all outside, and Eraserhead's like, "Hey, Bakugo, throw this like ball thing again from like one of the first episodes, just to see how much you've improved." Oh, what's that? Same distance, pretty much. Yeah, you see, this is the point. You guys have like trained your minds and trained your strategies and everything.
And you maybe got a little bit of a stamina boost.
Yeah,
Thing, so.
We need to make you guys learn how to use your quirks in new ways and better ways.
Which is interesting, because Deku, surprisingly, the opposite, basically. He was already very good tactically. He was already very good at using like what he had in very inventive ways, but his use of his powers was garbage. And he hasn't really gained any of the former two categories, but his use of his powers has gotten way, way better.
Yeah. But, he can still only use 5%.
So, bodybuilding training?
We gotta get that up to, more percentage. Because that's a lot more heroing that you can do.
Yep.
So.
There was a post-credit scene. I don't know whether you watched it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And it's basically, let's call it the rest of the League of Villains. We get sly, not quite reveals of some of the other characters that have been brought on.
Yeah.
And we get...
Hey, we got delivery from Shiggy. Yay! It's everything, enough for everyone.
Yeah, and we get... I've already forgotten the name. Hifumi? Togo? Something like that. And
it's Toga. Just call her Toga. Everybody does.
Okay.
You get
and
big figure with cloak on. Figure hidden in shadows.
And then Dobby. And Dobby is like, hey, that guy's actually doing some good stuff now. That Shigaraki. Alright, let's see where this goes. We're going to fire a warning shot. It's not going to do much. It's not meant to, but it's a declaration of intent.
He says, I think specifically, those empty heroes will be pulled off their pedestals to create a brighter future.
I like that character in a weird way.
People have a lot of theories about Dobby, because Dobby's not his real name.
No, he said like the first time he shows up, he's like, I guess you can call me Dobby.
I've heard lots of theories about him. People have said, he may be one of Endeavor's children. So that's a popular theory.
That's an out there theory, considering his hair color.
True, but you never know. He could have died.
True, I suppose.
I mean, if you hate Endeavor enough, you do it. But we don't know. Very little information on it.
Really? Still?
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Still.
Okay, then.
League of Villains has a lot of interesting aspects to them. And we're being introduced to more characters. This they're continuing their attack on UA because it's kind of their modus operandi now. It's not just about killing All Might. It's there's nowhere that you're safe.
Yeah, it's undermining the foundation of this whole, to them, broken system.
Yeah,
which would be the schools.
They were like, "Hey, everybody, let's like." Eraserhead was talking to Vlad, and he was like, "We changed locations several times. The location was finalized at the last minute. There's no way that they can know unless they have some sort of mole inside." And then immediately they find out. So,
yeah, immediately they found out, which means it can't be one of the students.
Yeah, unless
the students wouldn't know where they're going.
Yeah. People have theorized that maybe it is a student, but the possibility that it's a teacher or pro hero like in on it as well is like that's also a thing that could happen. So
I have to assume it's one of the teachers.
Yeah, it could be. I honestly have no guests currently.
So
I have no guesses.
I feel like Zero already has a clue, but you know, whatever. It's fine.
I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. That's fine. Someone's going to spoil it in the comments for me anyway. So, no one has yet, but, you know, it's always a terror that's in the back of my mind. Yeah, so, obviously, this episode was nice. Had some good... fairly straightforward action scenes where everyone gets to show off. New characters introduced. New facet of character progression for Deku in another facet of the hero lifestyle that he is confronted with that he probably didn't consider before.
Yeah.
So, cool stuff.
Lots of potential for character growth in this arc. And I went back and I counted all the chapters. I think the next two arcs can be done in 12 episodes.
The next two?
I mean, this one and the one afterwards. I think it can be done, finish up in episode 13.
All right.
Because I counted the chapter numbers, and they usually do like 2 chapters, so that's my current guess.
Okay. I don't actually know anything about what these arcs are going to be, so I'm just going to...
Yeah, which means we'll be getting a lot farther than I thought we would, which is nice, because there's some really good stuff that I wanted to get to, and we can now get to that.
Yeah. All right. So, thanks for watching. We'll be back with another one next week when that comes out, which will also have the simuldub. It's really nice that they're doing that. Yay.
Yay! And we can always watch, and if you're watching the dub and I'm watching the sub, we can compare notes.
Yeah. See whether they're always talking about scrotums in both versions. It really was weird that he brought up scrotums, isn't it?
Specific scrotums. Yeah. Ow, my scrotums.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you guys next time.
No, but seriously, the fucking towel. It was like a fucking tea towel that he's just sort of cinched there.